Happening now, a structure in Kennedy has completely been engulfed in flames. Our Justin Gould is live at the scene with a look. And an arrest has been made concerning an animal abuse allegation that took place earlier in the month, what the duo is being charged with. Plus, how city officials are looking at eliminated traffic-related fatalities.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen in for Justin Gould. Your latest local news is coming up, but first we start today with breaking news. At around 10:15 a.m. this morning, a massive fire was reported in Kennedy. Our Justin Gould joins us live from the location where our house once stood. Justin?
Yeah, Brunson, good afternoon. 672 2nd Street, as you see behind me, completely leveled now by smoke and flames. Just after 10:15 this morning, crews got the call of a reported structure fire here at the intersection of 2nd Street and Daly Hill Road in Kennedy. And as soon as first responders got on scene, they gave the call that the entire structure was fully engulfed in flames. I'll step out of the way to show you the very latest as they're continuing to throw water on what remains of this house and now the house located directly next door, which also became fully engulfed in flames. When dealing with a rural fire like this, one of the big aspects is the fact that they don't have water hydrants here in Kennedy. So they have to take water from nearby sources, like the nearby creek, for example, from tanker trucks like what you see on the right side of our screen to bring the water in to try to quell this blaze. Now, information still coming into us at this point. Obviously, officials on scene are very active in fighting the fire. But what we do know from fire dispatch reports is that it does appear that there were no injuries reported to us at this time, thankfully. However, police are on scene as an investigation into what and why this blaze started. Initial reports, which haven't been confirmed yet to WNY News Now, but were reported over the fire dispatch, is that a juvenile was spotted running from the scene moments before crews arrived. Again, we haven't been able to confirm that or the level of suspiciousness. However, I will tell you that state police and other law enforcement agencies here in Kennedy are very much investigating and speaking with neighbors. There were two detectives that we witnessed earlier just before our noon broadcast here who were interviewing a neighbor just across the street from where this blaze took place. Now, folks in Kennedy very much rattled by this. At this point, crews have done a good job of controlling the blaze to these two structures, but early on it did seem difficult to try to corral and get the manpower needed here now that several area fire departments have arrived on scene. And there were several explosions that were also reported, what is believed to be some sort of propane tank maybe, that really rocked this neighborhood, one, and then several minutes later another. And during that time, firefighters actually fell back, including people in the area. If you were watching our live stream, we had to take cover as well, as we were unclear what was causing that explosion. A power line also fell throughout the course of this firefight today, and since then National Grid has arrived on scene and have been able to turn off electric to the homes in this area, providing a safe roadway for firefighters to work. But as you can see, still very much an intense inferno coming from the original house where the fire was reported, and now unfortunately the fire spread to another structure as they're trying to quell that blaze. Just by the looks of the water and the fire, I'd have to say that both structures likely a total loss. We will, of course, continue to provide updates for you online and on air at WNY News Now throughout the day as more information becomes available. But for now, reporting live in Kennedy, Justin Gould, WNY News Now.
With all this heat, let's get a first check of our weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. How's it going over there, Dakota?
Hey, it's actually going pretty good out there today over in the weather office today, but man, it's warm out there. The Olean Skycam showing you a few clouds dotting in the sky right now, but lots of sunshine. But the bigger issue today is going to be the humidity values. Nothing showing up on the satellite and radar composite, but we are going to be good for the afternoon hours in terms of that. But the issue is going to be the heat. Now, there is a heat advisory further to the north, which includes the city of Buffalo and all of the counties that border the Lake Ontario shoreline. This is where heat indices, or the feels like temperature, could reach 95, 96, 97 degrees. It won't be that warm across the southern tier, but it's still going to be a warm day. These are the forecast heat indices, or max peak heat indices. We could peak out around 89 degrees for the peak heat index, 91 in Warren, also in TDU, 88 in Clymer. So make no mistake about it, it's going to be a hot, hazy, humid day. So you know how to stay cool. Drink plenty of water, air-conditioned rooms, stay inside, all that stuff. You know that stuff. 84 degrees was the high yesterday. Started the day at 67, 93 and 39 are the records. So there it is, mostly sunny, hot with near of humidity. Heat indices across the region, 86 to 93 degrees, 84 to 90 the actual air temperatures, and with a southwest wind, a hot wind that doesn't make it feel that much better. But we do have a chance for some storms tonight. Some of them could be strong. We'll time it all out with the Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day later in the show, Bronson.
All right, we'll see you then, Dakota. A Jamestown mother and son are facing charges after allegedly leaving their dog tied out and unattended without food or water earlier this month. Jamestown police responded to an East Side residence back on the 1st of July for a dog not being properly cared for. Additionally, police said the dog did not have access to its food and water bowls. 43-year-old Misty Freeman and her 25-year-old Matthew Freeman have been charged under the state's Agriculture and Markets Law for failure to provide sustenance and shelter to an animal. A 16-year-old is facing a slew of charges in connection with a burglary on Jamestown's east side. Jamestown police responded to a burglary in process around 7 p.m. last Saturday. The suspect, later identified as 16-year-old, took off on foot when the homeowner attempted to chase after him. Police later found a male matching the teen's description nearby. Following a brief foot pursuit, the teen was taken into custody. He faces a slew of charges in family court, including second-degree burglary. City officials are eyeing new proposals to reduce the amount of traffic-related injuries and death. In the past year, there has been a death and an obscene amount of traffic accidents that could have led to injuries within the city of Jamestown. One worried resident, Melissa Paternitti, spoke to members about the safety committee about concerns that endanger the safety of city walkers.
My first and major concern is people not stopping at pedestrian crosswalks in the middle of the road. In the city of Jamestown, there's probably 8 to 10 crosswalks in the middle of the road with a yellow sign thinking people are going to stop.
Other problem areas she sees includes people running stop signs, poorly visible traffic signs, and crosswalk negligence. All problems that could lead to more bodily harm.
Do we just have to wait for one more person to die? Several people have died. One person died where there is now a crosswalk on Washington Street.
Fixes for the safety problems could range from a variety of options, from new advanced signage to alert drivers of pedestrian crossing, to even more drastic steps for areas like the intersection of Buffalo and 2nd Streets, which sees a lot of traffic.
As much as people hate roundabouts, they are fantastic. And I think that would be a great intersection to slow down traffic, because it's a raceway. You probably can, people race up and down that street every day. People come from Buffalo. People don't stop. People turn right on red.
In response to the ever-growing cases of motor vehicle accidents that lead to individuals getting hurt or even killed, city officials are looking at implementing a program called Vision Zero, which aims at traffic safety.
It takes kind of a new approach, really reorienting towards traffic death being preventable versus inevitable, recognizing that humans are going to fail, that there's obviously people are going to make mistakes.
In the end, If implemented by the city, the program would only start out in its planning phase, looking at how to prevent traffic-related deaths. As WNY News Now continues, details following a crash between a vehicle and an Amish buggy. And later, the GOP candidate for New York State Assemblyman addresses points of his campaign to help improve the state. And right now, we'll leave you with a live look of that Kennedy fire. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
A 44-year-old Fredonia woman is accused of driving while intoxicated following a vehicle versus Amish buggy crash in Cattaraugus County. Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office responded to the accident on Route 322 in the town of Dayton last week. Deputies said the Amish buggy sustained heavy damage. However, no injuries were reported. The driver of the vehicle involved, later identified as Emily Ellicott, allegedly fled the scene. She was later located at a different location, allegedly exhibiting signs of intoxication. Ellicott was issued an appearance ticket for court proceedings and released. Governor Kathy Hochul recently announced major actions to combat wage theft and protect the paychecks of hardworking New Yorkers. The governor said that the wage theft task force helped secure $3 million in wages owed to New York since the beginning of the pandemic. Hochul also launched a new hotline and is in the process of developing a state-of-the-art online wage theft reporting system to create more opportunities for workers to report wage theft and receive what they are owed. While protecting their privacy and safety with this new hotline, they started yesterday, New Yorkers can report wage theft directly to the New York State Department of Labor by calling the number 833-910-4378, which has interpretation services available. The online reporting system will give New Yorkers the ability to report wage theft online in a variety of languages, while improving the department's ability to task complaints and identify trends. Longtime GOP New York State Assemblyman Andrew Goodell lays out the steps to his campaign that he plans to tackle. Joining us in the studio with a political spotlight is our Alyssa Wright. Alyssa?
Thank you, Bronson. Acknowledging multiple problems that the state currently faces, he explains what issues should be resolved.
There's a couple of really big challenges, both locally and statewide, that I'm focused on. Statewide, my focus is on what we can do to keep energy costs lower, to address inflation, to improve our employment picture here in Chautauqua County and statewide, and to improve public safety.
For Chautauqua County, one problem the Republican sees is its lake. He explains that Chautauqua Lake is essential to the area's economy and enjoyment.
Of course, a real big issue locally through most of our county, and certainly the central part, is the quality of Chautauqua Lake.
One pressing issue that the Assemblyman would like to address is one that affected him on a personal level.
Sometimes it takes a little while before, my colleagues recognize there are ramifications to what they do. So we eliminate bail for 400 crimes. Crime goes through the roof. As you know, my car was stolen in Albany out of a secure lot. Now, the guy totaled it in 6 hours. It took me longer to walk to work the next day than it did for him to get released without bail.
For Assemblyman Goodell, public safety is a priority, and he hopes to make improvements not only for Chautauqua County, but for all of the state. Andy Goodell is up against a new candidate for the Democratic Party for this fall's upcoming general election, Sandra Lewis. Live in the studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
In March, regulations put forward by the Wolf administration were approved by the Independent Regulatory Review Commission. Erie News Now's Brennan Scanlon tells us more.
The only people who benefit from these regulations being tossed are the bad players in the charter school industry.
For Susan Spica with Education Voters of Pennsylvania, some of the regulations should be a no-brainer. For example, holding charter school trustees to the Public Official and Employee Ethics Act.
You're sitting on the board of a public school. You should have no financial interest in it. You should not be using your position to have financial gain. I don't understand why the charter schools were so upset about that.
Charter advocates like Dr. Ann Clark say the regulations would have done more harm than good. One example, having to match employee health insurance with authorizing districts.
But in our very small charter schools, that would be a huge financial burden.
Quite frankly, I think it was to put a financial burden on them.
State Senator Scott Martin believes the regulations were an overstep by the Wolf administration.
There's a huge difference between expanding the definition of something or creating regulation for something compared to creating new law. That falls under the purview of the General Assembly.
But Spica says matching health care has been the law for decades.
That was not breaking new ground. That is in the law. And so apparently charter schools are violating that law.
Charters say they're for accountability, but tired of it being one-sided.
You see the regulations on the charter school side of it, but where do you see the accountability on the authorizer side?
When we have consistently failing schools, what's interesting is that I don't hear this same commitment to accountability to the schools that traditionally we're giving the most money to across the whole state per student, yet they continue to fail these students so that those families are looking for other opportunities.
Any kind of oversight is something that the charter schools are going to buck up against.
Coming up, a look at the House bill that would grant protections to same-sex and interracial marriages if passed. And later, the U.S. Army isn't at an all-time low with new recruits, how the military is trying to encourage more sign-ups. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
It's never season, and this year, Christmas in July in Jamestown is better than ever. First, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks will take the field at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park on Friday, July 22nd, with a fireworks show to follow. Festivities continue on Saturday, July 23rd, featuring a color run for kids and adults at the Northwest Arena starting at 9 a.m. Then, the Jamestown Public Market is partnering with Toys for Tots to host a craft fair and a downtown sidewalk sale. Also, a 12-team curling tournament will be ongoing at the arena later in the night. Join us for a Christmas-themed movie outside the National Comedy Center with a screening of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation at 6:30. All you'll need is a lawn chair. And finally, to cap the day, the Greater Jamestown Riverwalk will play host to a special holiday village starting at 8 p.m. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Wanted to start off talking about the dew point. This is a graphic we've showed before, but it's nice to bring it out to kind of show you this is where we're at for dew point temperatures today. The 60s, and some of us may get close to the 70-degree mark for the dew point temperatures, so it's nasty out there. Now, this is a fun way of looking at it. This is a more technical way of looking at it. So when we have low dew point values, basically you sweat on hot days. It's just kind of how it is. But when there's low humidity, ultimately the sweat can evaporate easily as there's more room in the air for those actual water molecules to go. But let's take a day like today where we have high amounts of humidity. Yeah, look at all the sweat. Woo boy! And this is kind of what happens. All those water vapor molecules just stick around on you. They cling to your skin because the air is already oversaturated with water moisture, so therefore it can't hold any more of that water vapor. So that's why it just sticks to you, and that's why on muggy days it feels very sticky. So there's the scientific definition for you. But lots of sunshine downtown right now. 82 as of noon hour, a south wind of 12, but there's the dew point. 67, making it feel more like 84 degrees outside. And yeah, we are going to be into the mid to upper 80s for heat indices throughout much of the afternoon. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has reintroduced this standard slight risk, a level 2 out of 5, the yellow shade, for basically the western section of Chautauqua County going down into Erie and the western section of Warren County as well. Everybody else under a low end marginal risk. And understand, this is for later tonight. This is not this afternoon. The timing is 8 o'clock tonight until midnight for the strongest storms. The strong winds is going to be the main threat here. A bunch of small hail. And in that slight risk zone, there is a small, stress the word small, chance for at least an isolated spin-up tornado, but damaging winds is mainly going to be the main impact. There's our storm in question right here, spinning over Canada right now, but there's a cold front attached to it. That front is going to be ultimately responsible for the showers and thunderstorm development overnight. So future scan showing you a good amount of sunshine through the afternoon hours. This is right around 8 o'clock. Showers and thunderstorms will start to flare across the westernmost areas, then move inland as we go throughout the night. And again, any one of these could be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts and large hail, and then that tapers off through the overnight hours. We will catch at least a couple isolated showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms in the afternoon hours tomorrow, but then we start to turn drier again, but then we are not going to rule out the chance for a couple isolated showers by the time we go into Friday. Now the future, next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So there it is for you. We're down to 80. That push of cool air is amazing, Bronson. We're down to 82 on Friday. More heat and humidity Saturday, 85. A better chance for showers and storms Sunday. Less humid on Monday, but then the heat returns by Tuesday, where we have a chance for at least mostly sunny skies, Bronson.
Now let's catch some things from around the nation. 47 Republicans joined House Democrats on Tuesday to pass a bill to protect same-sex marriage. It comes amid fears that the conservative majority Supreme Court could target same-sex marriage after ending constitutional abortion rights by overturning Roe v. Wade. Justice Clarence Thomas explicitly wrote that the High Court should apply new scrutiny on precedents on contraception and same-sex relationships. The House bill, called the Respect for Marriage Act, would also provide federal protections for interracial marriages. It is not clear if it can pass the state. Democrats would need the support of at least 10 Republicans to overcome the 60-vote threshold. Not enough people are signing up to be all they can be. The Army reports it's probably going to fall short of its recruitment goal by nearly 40,000 new troops over the next 2 years. There are several reasons why, officials say. It's partially because unemployment is low, and also fewer people are interested in serving. The Army is making its financial incentives more attractive in the hopes of gaining more recruits. It's also considering the possibility of no longer requiring new soldiers to have high school diplomas. The Army is currently authorized to have 485,000 troops next year. Officials think Army forces won't exceed 466,000 soldiers by then. One bright spot is people who do join the Army are staying in longer than they used to. Next, we take a look at what you are facing in the sun when it comes to potential skin cancer. Stay with us as WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Catch your first defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
As Dakota has said, a lot of sun has been hanging around us this summer, and many of us have already gotten sunburnt or even a little bit of a tan. Sun exposure, though, can lead to skin cancer. That's why UPMC hosted a screening for skin cancer. We spoke to doctors about how to prevent the deadly disease and if we wanted to know if people follow through with expert advice.
Summertime is here and people have been taking advantage of the sunny weather this season.
Oh, we've been out fishing, trying to catch some fish, but no luck.
But even though there's been some relentless days out there, not everyone has taken precautions to protect their skin. Do you wear sunscreen?
No, I do not.
Some people look at wearing SPF as no big deal, but experts say even though you may be enjoying a deep suntan now, that could cause major problems down the road.
It takes years, decades for all that damage to manifest.
Dr. Jay Kang, Chief of Plastic Surgery at UPMC Hammett.
There are going to be some individuals who are going to be just at high risk no matter what. So someone who has blonde hair, fair skin, blue eyes, or spends a lot of time outside, they're more likely to be at risk compared to some of the other individuals.
People we spoke to attest to that.
I have ruined my skin from the sun, so I'm going to try to take care of it from now on.
Deborah Craig, just be a rare form of cancer internally, so warding off preventable disease any way she can externally is a priority.
Do you wear sunscreen when you go out? I do, so I don't get skin cancer.
The good news, Dr. Kang says, most forms of skin cancer can be prevented, especially if you take precautions sooner rather than later.
If we can make those habits during our teens, 20s, that really can pay dividends down the road.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Well, it sure has been a warm one out there, and I think just about everyone in the studio here has gone out and gotten sunburnt this summer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I mean, I did when I went to Pride Fest. I did not take my own advice, bad, and I went to Pride Fest, didn't put any sunscreen on, and boy, my arms were completely beet red. So, take my advice, folks. Sunscreen, sunblock, UV protection, hats, umbrellas. All of it.
As a reminder to all of you out there, news does continue 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com, and our continuous coverage of this fire out in Kennedy will be going on until authorities say it is safe in the area. As of recently, we have learned that the BPU is filling up water tankers out in Falconer because they have ran out of water in Kennedy. Our Justin Gould is still on scene and will provide updates as needed. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Come and join us on WNY News Now at any time. Although we'll leave you with a look from outside our studio. Maybe. Hey, look at that. Downtown.